educates students with different learning needs, and we learn a lot by researching and understanding issues that the world faces. We're discussing the issue of transgender people serving in the military. We're discussing this issue because President Trump is trying to ban trans people from serving in the military. First, we want to clarify what it means to be transgender. What it means to be transgender is that there is a mismatch between the gender of your brain and your biological sex. Because of this mismatch, gender dysphoria is developed. Gender dysphoria is discomfort with your biological sex. Gender dysphoria typically affects trans individuals all throughout their childhood, but they may not know that they're transgender. Dysphoria also negatively affects trans individuals during puberty as they undergo many changes of their biological sex. To reduce gender dysphoria, many trans people go on hormone therapy and get surgeries. Some people go on hormone replacement therapy, which is when trans people take hormones to look and sound more like the gender they identify as. Trans males go on testosterone, and the effects of testosterone are getting a deeper voice, oilier face, more body hair, thicker skin, small decrease in breast size, emotional changes. Trans females may take estrogen, and the effects of estrogen for trans females are smaller pores, development of breasts, development of feminine voice, pain and temperature is perceived a different way, weight will be redistributed, and collect more around the waist and hips. Hopefully that explains the basics of what it means to be transgender in our society. Here's Mateo to share information about transgender people serving in the military.
Hello, my name is Mateo, and I will be sharing different opinions about transgender people serving in the military. Even though there has never been a law against transgender people serving in the military, President Trump sparked an outrage when he tweeted about no longer allowing transgender people to serve in the military. On July 26, 2017, Trump tweeted, "After consultations with my generals and military experts, please be advised that the United States government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military. Our military must be focused on decisive and overwhelming victory and cannot be burdened by the tremendous medical costs and disruptions that transgender in the military would entail. Thank you." End quote. Some people understand why President Trump doesn't want to allow transgender people to serve in the military. They agree that there are cost concerns and that people in the military may experience overall discomfort knowing that transgender people are serving alongside them. However, many people disagreed with Trump's tweet. They think that trans people should serve, because regardless of gender identity, they are doing their job. According to the Smithsonian Institute, 39% of people in the military believe that transgender people should be allowed in the military, and that 61% think that transgender people should not be in the military. However, opinions between men and women in the military are very divided on this issue. 62% of females in the military believe that people who are transgender should be allowed in the military, and 38% of females believe that people who are transgender should not be allowed in the military. In contrast, 37% of males who are in the military believe that transgender people should be allowed in the military, while 63% of males who are in the military think that transgender people should not serve in the military. These are just some of the opinions held by people in the military. Georgia May will be talking about the cost of therapies for transgender people who serve in the military.
My name is Georgia May, and today I will be sharing facts about the cost of transgender people serving in the military. According to an article in Forbes magazine, there are 1,320 to 6,330 active trans service members out of 1.3 million service people. This equates to a possible 1 in 200 service members who identify as transgender. The National Center for Transgender Equality estimates that there are over 134,000 transgender veterans who have served in the military. According to an article in Forbes magazine, the military spent $8.4 million on transgender service members in 1 year. This is 0.017% of the military. This is 0.017% of the military's $50 billion in healthcare expenses for a possible 0.017%
5% of their service members. According to Forbes, the military spent $41.6 million on Viagra, which is 5 times what was spent on.
So now we will give our opinions on this issue. I believe that transgender people should be allowed to serve in the military because people who are willing to sacrifice their lives for a country should be allowed to serve in the military as long as they are physically able to. I also believe that it is unfair to say that transgender people serving is a distraction to non-trans people.
I believe that transgender people should not serve in the military if the medical costs exceed the medical costs of the average service person. If the cost does not exceed, then I think that transgender people should serve in the military because I don't see why the government can't spend money on the health care of these service people when they're spending $31 million on Viagra.
I agree with Mateo that since the military covers health therapy, transgender people should not be allowed to serve in the military. If the cost of hormone therapy and surgery is more than the cost of health care for the average service person, but the military already covers health services for non-trans people. So if the money is lower, then transgender people should be allowed to serve. They have a right to choose if they want to be in the military or not. And if they are a distraction to other people in the military, then those people need to suck it up and deal with it.